Usually when we're talking about New York Attorney General Letitia James, it's involving Donald Trump. But apparently, she took a break from attacking the former president to attack women's sports, because apparently those are the most important pressing issues in New York right now. Letitia James threatens legal action if New York County official fails to rescind trans sports ban. So you have some people, whether it's at the county level, state level, wherever it may be, that are actually trying to take action to stop transgender athletes from competing in and destroying women's sports. So when that happened in Long Island County, apparently the most woke people out there, like Attorney General Letitia James, they have to step in, and now she's threatening legal action against this. This is insane. New York Attorney General Letitia James demands Nassau County rescind ban on female transgender athletes. New York Attorney General Letitia James on Friday demanded that a county on Long Island scuttle its new prohibition against transgender women and girls competing in female sports. Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman issued an executive order on February 22nd banning sports organizations from county-run athletic facilities if they allow transgender girls and women to compete on female teams. The order, which went into effect immediately, impacts more than 100 sites, from ball fields to basketball to tennis courts, swimming pools, ice rinks across the suburban New York City region, which is located just east of Queens in the state's wealthiest county. But James, in her cease and desist letter Friday, says this order is a clear violation of the state's anti-discrimination laws and must be rescinded in 5 days, or else they'll face legal action. The law is perfectly clear. You cannot discriminate against a person because of their gender identity or expression, the Democrats said in a statement. This executive order is transphobic and blatantly illegal. How do you see this one ending, guys? Is Letitia James in the middle of this fight with Trump? Is Letitia James going to get her way?
Dude, I'll just say this. Sports should be the last thing on these transgender kids' minds. Go to therapy. Counseling, hardcore therapy and counseling. Why the fuck is playing sports on the number one on their agenda for these trans kids? Like, you need help. You need help. You should not be worried about playing fucking sports. There's kids, you can be the most athletic motherfucker, but if you don't make grades in school, you're not playing. But these kids have these severe psychological and mental problems, and these government officials are so worried about these trans kids and playing sports and being able to play sports. If they're a trans woman, they're a biological man, well, you should be allowed to play sports in the women's league. Now, how about get some fucking help?
Here's the thing: it's not even like transgender athletes are not being banned from playing sports. They're being banned from playing sports with the wrong group of people.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
Yes, we should not have biological men, regardless of what they happen to identify as when they wake up in the morning, competing with biological women. Shouldn't happen. So you're not being banned from playing. You can play with everybody else that was born with a dick and balls, right? You can go play with them.
Yep.
You just can't have this inherent biological advantage by destroying women's sports. We're seeing it all over the country. Like now, we're seeing at high school, at collegiate levels, we're seeing trans athletes breaking records and dominating real women.
Yep.
Yeah, it's honestly, they're trying to cite that there are health experts saying, studies that say, oh, there's no inherent advantage, that these, trans women, men basically putting on wigs and dresses have, but, that's been proven to be blatantly false. Like, prenatal testosterone, bone structure, bone density, the ability, your muscles, regardless of whether or not you're getting, injections of E2 estradiol and, all these other hormones that typically kill your natural testosterone production, which even then, you're not even dropping down to the level of testosterone production of women. Like, the standards that they want these trans athletes to drop down to are very, they're kind of minimal, but not that low. Is like they still have advantages. That's the thing.
Heart size, lung capacity, the way your bones are set up. You know what I mean? Like, exactly. So many of these things that it does not matter if your testosterone levels have been low for the last 2 years or whatever some of these rules are. Like, what if somebody was on steroids for 20 fucking years, then took 1 year off and we're competing against like people. Right? That's what you're looking at when it comes to this.
Yep.
It's not fair.
Yeah, that muscle and those bone, that muscle linked. I mean, bone length. When it pulls on those muscles, it still generates a greater amount of force. It's got a longer lever to pull on, and that's what unfortunately these people don't seem to get. But you know what? I want Letitia James to continue to throw these lawsuits out because it just, I mean, to continue to just sort of threaten legal action against people for these spurious causes, because all it does is it makes the whole action against Trump look even crazier. The more she continues to do this, it just casts everything into a more political light. So I love that. I wonder why the fuck do we got to use these black legal professionals to do this shit? Like, that's my one question that I've got. Like, why just come on.
Yeah, I mean, if you actually thought that they were actually going to stop at Trump, this is a prime example right here. I truly do believe she's going to go after this guy. She is not going to stop. There's a reason why New York and California have lost so many people. The average person does not want men playing women's sports. If you ask the average person, they're going to be against that. But when you're actually in a state like New York, man, you can just blatantly go out there, say something like this, threaten a guy, and there's going to be no consequences for you. She is deranged. Completely deranged.
Yep.
You people that's in New York, man, if you're a business in New York, man, you got to get out of there. You cannot operate as a business in New York anymore. They made that pretty clear. Now, if you speak out against men playing in women's sports, oh, you're going to be a target now. Get out of New York, man.
Yeah, and specifically, Long Island in general, New York City, obviously very, very blue. Long Island, not necessarily the case. A little more red in Long Island, and probably one of the reasons that happened on a local level at the county level, why this transgender ban in female sports took place. And Letitia James seems like she's serious about it. So she wants to help destroy female sports. Like that's what anybody that's promoting that shit, that's what you're doing. You're destroying women's athletics.
You're destroying women's sports, 100%. Men's athletics will not be affected by this. Simply because biological women, I mean, you cannot compete with biological men. But when biological men are stepping into the women's game, you're ruining it, man. And so throw feminism out the fucking window with these people who preach feminism for so long but want biological men in women's sports.
Well, they're going to have to decide, what do you want, this level of inclusivity, or do you want Title IX? Because if you want to throw Title IX out the window, then fuck, colleges are going to be eaten. They're going to have all sorts of sports teams. Like, every school's going to have a wrestling team. Every school's going to have, several men's track teams. Like, fuck it. If you're going to do this and get rid of Title IX, be my guest, But, Bruce Blakeman, the county executive that's actually spearheading this effort to ban them, he's not backing down at all. So we're going to see a fight here, boys.
Oh yeah, we're gonna cover it. We'll see what happens.